Warning, this podcast may contain bad language and shows that some listeners may find Aryan.
Vive la revolution.
Anything more to add to that? It also might contain the remnants of Selina's dinner.
I'm literally, swigging water now.
You said you were done.
I was done with the eating, but I'm thirsty.
Oh, welcome to Seesaw, the ASMR show where you can hear someone drink and eat on air.
And Nazis!
Oh.
Welcome to Seesaw Podcast.
With your hosts, T, Cleaves, and Selina.
Every week, bringing some much-needed balance and humour to brighten up what can sometimes be a dark, disabled world.
Bonjour, one and all. Welcome back to Seesaw Podcast. So this week, we are returning to a series. And before we get into that, Selina, nondescript question. Off you go.
How was your expensive non-burger?
It was alright, actually. I'd have it again.
Even though it didn't taste like chicken?
No, but it had the right chicken texture.
And don't forget, it was on yellow sticker, so it wasn't upper class price. It was only upper middle class price.
That's true.
It was a good shopping day.
Bargain.
Cleese, what did you have for your dinner?
I don't want to say because it's literally the opposite end of the spectrum.
Go ahead.
Value chili out of a can.
Oh no.
I actually really like it. It's dead nice.
Who eats that stuff?
Me.
Well, you, obviously, but
Fucking delicious. Cost of living, leave me alone. How do you think I afford the lifestyle I've become accustomed to? It's by eating like a goddamn tramp every week.
Eat Like a Tramp is thematic for the film that we're going to be chatting about today.
I want to know what you ate for dinner.
I made loaded fries.
Loaded with what? Jism.
It was pulled pork, coleslaw, and cheese.
There was something pulled in there. I was pretty close. Let's move on to the episode of the day.
We're back with a series, and this time around, we are reviewing a
TV show.
Yes. Let's run the credits so I can properly intro it.
Lights, camera,
Audio description.
roll film.
Seesaw Media proudly presents Seesaw Seenema.
Bringing you audio described reviews of the latest and greatest film.
Not a film, but today's series, All the Light We Cannot See.
Okay, so Seesaw Cinema is back this week. We have a series rather than a movie to cover, but we've only done the first 2 episodes, so half of it. The show in question is All the Light We Cannot See, which is on Netflix. It is audio described by our friends at IDC Global.
Digital.
It's an international digital centre.
Oh.
Am I the only person that's done any homework?
Yeah,
I swear to
International
God.
Digital Centre Global, but the credits of the say IDC Global.
Was it? I thought it said IDC Digital, but now you're
This
saying
is
digital
fucking
in the name.
shambles. Why is it like? Look, this is not the way Seesaw goes. T, you keep us on track. Selena, you add your comments, and I'm the one that fuckers up. Why is it the opposite way around this week?
Okay, let me just do one more take.
Okay, yeah, let's do one more.
Yeah.
I'm not going to question you.
So the show is audio described by our friends at IDC. We had them a few
Digital.
weeks back. And before we jump into the actual audio description, give a quick overview of it. In 2014, released as a novel by Anthony Doerr. And this was a Pulitzer Prize winning book as well. Adapted into a 4-part series by Netflix in 2023. We have some lovely actors in it, some that are just starting off their careers, and a few staples you might have heard of. We have our main character, Marie-Laure Leblanc, played by Aria Mia Loberti. We also have a character of Werner Fennig, played by Louis Hoffman. Mark Ruffalo, the Incredible Hulk himself, is playing Daniel LeBlanc. And Hugh Laurie is also in it as Etienne. I think what we'll do is we'll go over what this film is actually about, a rough synopsis.
Series.
Before we jump into this is your warning for the first 2 episodes. Possibly and maybe more because Cleaves has watched the whole thing. So spoilers for everything.
I don't want him to spoil it for me.
He might not have a choice because he's already ruined some stuff anyway. So this is based in World War II France during the Revolution, 1944. It is based in the city of Saint-Malo.
Saint-Malo.
Yep. And it stars Maria, who I'm just going to refer to because the name is far too long in French.
Isn't it Marie?
I thought it was Marie.
Marie. See, I couldn't even get the simple version out.
I mean, this podcast is all backwards this week.
Yep. Marie, who is a blind teenage girl, and she is broadcasting illegal. Well, basically it's illegal. You're not allowed to broadcast during the Second World War. So she is broadcasting illegally in the city. Essentially, it does seem like it's a bit like, oh, I just like doing this. But then you do find out, and again, spoilers, in the second episode that there are encoded messages about the bombing to direct the bombs of the Allies. Meanwhile, we also have another character named Werner, who is a Nazi. He is a radio technician who's been recruited by the SS to essentially find people who are doing this illegal broadcast, spies and such. So we have 2 main characters. They both have a link because they both grew up listening to a professor broadcasting radio across Europe, basically talking about ideas of light and good things and giving them the fuzzy feelings. Early day ASMR, I imagine. And that's essentially where Marie got her inspiration before she became a spy. And although Werner has discovered this radio program from her, and he's supposed to report it on frequency 1310, he's not reporting her because shortwave, that's it. But she is streaming on the same frequency that the professor that they both had nostalgia for essentially did. So to start off, based on the first couple of episodes, what do we think of the story and the setting?
I have to say, I've had this book on my, downloaded for however long, and I've not picked it up or, press play because it's so long. So I didn't really know anything I just knew it was about a blind girl, and that's why it's been in my reading pile for a while. So setting-wise, I really didn't research this before. I had no idea that it was going to be in France and Saint-Malo. Even though it's there, the French are British, if you like, I suppose. That's what it feels like, in a way. I don't know. But it seems like an interesting setting with the ocean and all of that.
I mean, not to jump into some of my opinions potentially too early, but yes, they are all British, apart from Mark Ruffalo, who has the most indecipherable accent I've ever heard. I don't know if he's trying to go for French, but then drops back into British. It's weird. Mark Ruffalo's accent's weird.
Why aren't they all doing French accents? Why are they all being British?
Especially when the Germans are doing German accents.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What the hell's going on? Marie is played by an American actress doing a British accent that is meant to be French?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It doesn't really make all that much sense. But as far as the accents are concerned, I don't mind her. She's not terrible. I mean, you can tell she's American. She drifts into the, oh, hello there, the way that Americans think we talk.
Oh, yeah.
I find that when Americans are doing our British accents, it's the same way when we do American accents, it's just so over the top. There's no nuance to it. Well, I think she did a decent enough job.
Was French out of everyone's range? I just don't understand.
I mean, it is the French resistance in 1944.
That's what I mean. It's nuts. I get that they're not doing an American accent because the Americans are coming, aren't they? That's kind of like...
Yeah, but the Brits are also a part of the Allies.
Yeah, no, but
it's when the Americans
are largely liberate. That's what it's about, isn't it? Like when the bombings happen right at the start and stuff, isn't it an American bombing?
Yeah. So that's how it starts. Like the bombings are happening. She perseveres through her broadcast because she has to get those messages out. Damn it! By reading 20 Leagues Under the Sea, I think it is, or 200 Leagues. I can't remember the name of the book.
20,000 Leagues.
20,000.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the setup. I mean, I've got enough vision to sort of see that the setting was actually quite good. The audio description did a really good job of describing the area, like especially with the debris and stuff like that. So we'll dive a little bit more into the plot because there's more to talk about. There's some sort of magical stone. There's an SS officer who is a jeweler.
Von Rumpel.
Yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin himself.
Yeah.
Who is looking for a gem. He's sick or something, and he thinks he can cure himself with this magical gem that can curse people, but...
It curses them around them, but it gives you immortality, doesn't it? Apparently.
Yeah.
You return it to the ocean or something.
And he believes that Marie has it. Up to this point, there's no indication of how he knows this necessarily.
Isn't he like a gemologist or some shit? He's got some background in stones, hasn't he?
Yeah. He basically makes a whole thing of he is the last jeweler in the SS because the others were Jewish. By episode 2, it doesn't go into that much detail. He does find her, and there's
It's tense at the end of episode 1. Oof.
Oh yeah, he finds her in what was it? Scallops. Is it scallops?
No, maybe.
Oysters.
That's it. So she finds oysters because she's hungry in a place that she used to go to with her dad. Now, I don't want to be an arsehole too early, but they established earlier in the episode that there's no bread, there's no food because the entire city's on lockdown. The Nazis won't let anyone leave. It's being bombed to shit. And she knows where this ready supply of oysters is. And there seems to be a fair few there. And it just seems like she's begging for bread earlier. A little bit of e-begging.
What if they're hiding messages in the bread?
Frail crust.
Don't eat the burnt bread. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, a bit of a standoff at the end of the first episode where Rumpelstiltskin finds her and there's a bit of a hoedown in the water.
Does she hide the Sea of Flames, aka the gem?
Well, they don't tell us if that's what she's done. They might flash back to that.
Well, that's another thing, isn't it? It keeps flashing back between kid and adult as well. I actually quite like that about the show.
I like it, and it's showing a very empowering message of visual impairment, to be honest.
Let me ask you this question, Selina. If I built a model city for you and you traced it with your hands day after day, do you think you could walk that city?
No. Because things change. I mean, it'd be helpful.
They told you to stop at the crossroads, though.
I work on my feet, and I know, but no, things change, and you get easily disorientated. And how do you know roughly how many I'm the kind of person who doesn't walk out my front door without soundscape on. So, I still got my regular routes I need support with.
Could you walk it in blocks, though? Till you get to a road, left or right, straight on.
I think it'd definitely help. I'm not going to say it wouldn't help. Whether it's, bulletproof, don't think so.
Of words.
In one aspect, she can walk around the whole of Paris or the whole of Saint-Malo and with a cane. Oh, yep. I still want to know how she got back without her cane from when she was getting the oysters after she did that guy in back to her house. They don't show us that. I'd like to know how that happened. But she can do all that. But then the audio description tells me when she's walking around her own home, she's doing a lot of feely stuff.
Yeah.
I don't walk around my house like that. I just walk around it.
Even with the lights off at night, I can go get myself a glass of water and not touch the wall.
See, I do touch things with the back of my hand here and there.
Seemed a lot. It seemed excessive. I'm sure I do, but it made me think, do I do it like that? I don't think I do. I think it's just all for dramatic effect to remind the viewer that she is blind.
Well, I will go on record and say now that Aria Mia Liberti is actually a blinky.
But I don't think she's proper blind.
Oh no, she's proper blind.
She is proper blind.
She has achromatopsia. Yes, I've done my homework. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, no, I found this out as well, which is some severe kind of colour blindness.
No. Well, then I haven't done my homework.
I take
it all back. I rescind
that's one for
my
icons
fuck y'all.
at a later date of what that actually is completely. But it's good that they cast a visually impaired actress. I think any visually impaired person is always going to have issues with the way a visually impaired person is portrayed on screen. There's no two ways about it. And I give credit to the show. They've tried to be authentic as possible. And I think they have put a lot of work into it.
They put an entirely global casting call out for this. Like the way it was done, they called out for blind people effectively across the world. This person wasn't even an actor. This is the first thing they've done.
I know.
She was an academic at Rhode Island University. And then, she just wound up getting the part. Credit to her for a first act. She's good.
Yeah.
I thought she was great.
Pretty solid performance, to be fair, for first go at it.
Agree.
And I think that even though there were some cringy bits up to this point, I think the benefit of having a Blinky involved is hopefully other aspects were toned back. Maybe they were this was okay, that's fine, but you can't have me do this and this and this because that's just not realistic. Like, no one's going to do that shit.
It's like it's a representation of a way someone lives their life that is not by choice, but by circumstance. And that by placing someone in a role authentically ensures that basically when you're telling these stories, you're doing it through like a lens of truth.
Was that a quote from the director?
How dare you? I believe it was a quote from Aria herself.
Well, I agree. Sounds like a smart girl.
I would have got really disorientated down when she was getting her oysters, though, and doing all that fighting and getting a good shot with the rock, and then finding your way out as well as she did. Skills.
You think she's not just a good shot with the rock? She's a good shot with a lot of things.
We'll find out. So we have another character, of course. We have the blind girl, but we also have the Nazi, Werner,
aka Little Orphan Annie.
I was going to say orphan. I feel like he's more orphan than Nazi, but yeah.
Kind of becomes Nazi.
He is a part of the Nazi regime,
but he didn't want to be.
Yeah, neither did his sister. Oh, Utah.
Yeah, I have put that down on my notes. Like, he does not believe in the cause, but he unfortunately had a very particular set of skills, which meant that he was going to be ideal for them. He is trying to disguise the fact that he is listening to this girl's broadcast and he hasn't sort of given it away. Firstly, I want to say he is terrible at keeping a secret. The first guy, he blatantly just tells and then he dies because the roof collapses on him.
Yeah, but that's like kind of in the future, and then it's like it goes back and tells you like your life story. It's not like in the future, that's like present, and then
no, that's when they had the blitz in the city in the first episode.
Yeah, but that's like the present, isn't it?
Yeah, but
then it kind of goes back and tells you about his life story and other.
Yeah. But I'm just saying he's terrible at keeping a secret about this transmission that he's not supposed to be listening to.
His brother's going to die. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, true. But then he starts doing it again when he gets a new partner and leaves it on, and then ends up shooting the bloke.
Schmidt.
Old Schmidt head. He gets shot, and he throws him on a burning carousel, thinking there's going to be no repercussions to what he's doing at all. And then he leaves it on the same fucking frequency when the SS officer comes, who just puts on the headphones and is like, oh, listening to transmissions. He is the worst. He is the absolute worst at keeping a secret. Don't tell him anything. Like, he'll just inexplicably blurt it out to everyone. He's so bad.
He's just a nice boy, isn't he?
He's got a hard knock life.
He's an innocent.
Yep. And he's not that innocent. He did shoot someone in the chest.
Well,
he goes around and he
life or death situation. It's either him or,
But you say that, but he's part of the Nazi regime. He goes around literally finding people with illegal broadcasts and fucking executing people.
Yeah, just because he found one girl that he fancies over the radio.
Yeah.
She's the exception of it. But yeah, he does make clear that he has been doing this a while and is quite good at it. Now, whether he's actually shooting people, it doesn't say. But we do watch him shoot Schmidt in the face, in the chest. So it's not beyond him to shoot someone. Bit of a mixed-up character, personally. I'm not sure what I think of him. I think it's... he went to that really hardcore Berlin academy, soldier academy, and he was still a bit of a wimp and too nice of a boy, and you would have thought that would have been beaten out of him.
It was.
Well, we'll see. But Oh, I think he does a decent job, the actor. I don't know if he's actually German, but his German accent's good. Thoughts on the Nazi side of the coin?
It was good. On the whole, like from what I've seen so far, the acting and, that the Nazis themselves are coming across like tough, evil men, exactly how I'd probably have expected them to be in real life, not nice guys.
And it is showing that they're, at least with Werner, it's showing that not all Germans were Nazis, even if they were a part of the military or officers. Even the guy looking for the jewel, he doesn't seem to really give a shit about the Third Reich. He's just like,
it's about himself.
Yeah, he's like, this jewel will cure me of my undefined disease at this point. I don't really give a shit, but I'm going to use my station to achieve it. But it doesn't seem like he actually has any animosity. Please, without spoiling it, what are your thoughts on the first, the Nazi storyline?
What's good about it is you have is contrasting storylines, isn't it? You have someone from the Nazi side, and then you've got someone from the French resistance side, and then the link that brings them both together. And that's what makes the series / book interesting for people, because it's two separate lives brought together by one form of communication.
Did you also read that?
No, that was no.
That pure Cleaves.
That's yeah. That was pure Cleaves. Yeah.
Excellent.
I am enjoying it on the whole, though. Like so far, like the story and stuff. I'm getting into it. It's tense.
I'm not gonna spoil the rest for you. But what I will say is, compared to the last two episodes, the first two episodes are garbage. The last two episodes are where shit goes down.
Okay, excitement.
There's a bit in the last episode where it keeps flicking between present and past, and you're like, oh man, shit's tense. Anyway, I would say watch it all. It gets a double thumbs up from Cleaves.
I
No
keep
credits.
thinking it's gonna end of like they're just gonna live happily ever after.
What I will say is, having watched the series and then read up on the synopsis of the book, the endings are fairly different. Yes.
Oh, I hate it when they do that. Oh, yeah. Don't want to change the book. Oh no.
A fair bit as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I'm also enjoying it, but I've also seen that the critics are not a fan of the Netflix series. Because they're basing it very much on the book and the amount of changes, including the ending.
It's predominantly the ending, I think, that's the big difference.
I've got to get to the ending then. Which, it's only 4 episodes, so...
Having not read the book, I thought I enjoyed it as a standalone series. It was good.
So...
Audio description?
Yes. So, what do we think of the audio description from our friends at IDC? I think it was pretty good, to be honest.
Written by Liz Gutman. I hear that at the end of every episode.
Fern
Brady.
Somebody.
Cotton.
Can you imagine? Tesco Mobile. Fern Cotton.
Yeah, I think the audio description was pretty good, to be fair. Especially with a blind character, like they have to really convey the blindness and what she's doing. And although that is a bit cringy at times, I think it's fairly well done.
I think you're being not nice enough. I'm going to have to say, after we spoke to the guys at IDC, I feel like I'm appreciating this audio description a hell of a lot more than what I would have done if I hadn't spoken to them. Because for one, I haven't listened to it, but apparently there's introduction notes that you can listen to explaining about each character and what they look like the kind of thing you normally get in a theatre before a show. I haven't actually figured out how you do listen to that bit yet, but that's quite interesting and potentially a bit of a game changer. I think it's the first time that's ever been done on a like Netflix series. But also, they've definitely mentioned race of the characters a lot, which
a lot of white people.
Up for. Yeah, a lot of white people, but they say it, so
you
know, credit to them for that. And also, I've really liked how they haven't over-described. They've described things in real detail in that the way somebody smiles or the way someone's done something, that they give good description on that. But then, like, when someone's been shot, for example, they don't say they've killed the person. Like, they don't spell out the obvious. I like that. And they don't overtalk either. It has been, sometimes I think, I don't know, someone was walking down the corridor and you could hear the footsteps and it didn't talk all the way through that bit. It let you listen to the music and stuff and the tension. It's really, really, now I'm going to compare it definitely, but they have done a really good job of the audio description. And when I listen to other stuff now, I will be thinking, have other people reached the same standard?
I agree. I've listened to, I've watched a few things recently, and I have also noticed how good this is in comparison, because I've watched a few things which are fucking awful. Which makes me resonate with the whole what was said about, sometimes it's just a quick buck, do the bare minimum and get a turn around. And I think I've had one of those experiences recently where it's just like, okay, it's obvious that they just want to get this done and shipped as quick as possible.
That was our last episode.
Can't all be high quality. Sometimes you need the budget version.
You just slap a yellow sticker on it.
Yeah. Cleaves, audio description, what do you think?
Well, I'd like to firstly say that this show is dark AF.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a modicum of sight, like myself, it was difficult to see. And probably rightly so. I mean, it captures the atmosphere, doesn't it? A lot of it's done overnight, especially like the bombing raids and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of cases, people are going to be, swapping messages under cover of darkness and all that kind of shit. And I get that. Yeah, lack of power, all that kind of stuff. So great. Visual aspect, though, difficult for me. So I had to have the audio description on, and not just for this episode. But yeah, I thought the audio description was good. After talking to the guys at IDC, you do start to notice the fact that our descriptions of people's sort of race and hair color and that sort of thing is coming through. It gives you a good idea of what the characters look like. I didn't feel they really described the clothes very much, but I guess you just sort of guess at that.
Yeah.
Or whether it's really relevant, I don't know. But you'd think, more so, I think, the Nazi officers and that sort of thing, it might have been helpful.
It did say about the uniform. I think it just said like SS uniform.
Okay. All right then.
But I did like how it described like the car, like a sedan or whatever, and then it pointed out things on the car. It didn't just say the car. It gave you the model of the car, and then it said about the SS like badge being on it. It highlighted stuff on that. I like.
Yeah. That's good. Like picked out the relevant points, which I think is good. Yeah, the stuff that you really need to know. So again, 2 thumbs up from me.
Yes, I will also give it 2 thumbs up. Selina, are you going to finish this one?
What with 2 thumbs up?
Well, I meant the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, definitely want to know what happens.
Okay, well, I did wonder, like going into this, whether this would be your jam.
No,
point can like the Nazi officer dunk.
Yeah,
I mean, he might have tried dunking, but I'm not sure whether.
Well, he did dunk him underwater a lot, so maybe he's practicing.
I like World War II stuff.
I thought you were just going to stop there. Unlike World War II, just objectively, Great War.
Yeah, the Great War was the first one.
No, I find it actually, it's really interesting because I read a lot of like books wise. I read a lot about the Holocaust and all that kind of stuff. And I've actually seen the Resistance. So I've never watched anything like that. I don't know if any of it's based on a true story or not.
No, it's not.
Well, the bombing of San Malo apparently is.
Yes, it is. Yeah. But the whole
the actual characters,
it's the characters and stuff.
Yeah, historical fiction.
Yeah, it's based, in historical events, but the characters are.
Oh, okay, well, that's a shame.
Fictional.
But
yeah.
I'm enjoying
it. Magical jewel.
No, I wasn't. I was expecting I don't know about a blind girl. Maybe that was a thing.
Spoiler alert: the jewel's not really magical.
I didn't think it was.
Can you imagine it? It might have been one of those like big twist turns where it turns out like
one of the Infinity Stones.
Man in the High Castle, and they can fucking travel through different worlds or some shit. I don't know.
Jesus.
Oh, I did wonder if it was based on maybe someone delivering secret messages over the radio, but maybe
It
not.
takes a very big twist, and the Sea of Flames stone is Harry Potter based in the end. Hedwig turns up, he's carrying messages, like all that stuff.
Nice. Okay, so there's our review of
All the light we cannot see. And I like how it does the braille bit, like the name, all the light we cannot see. It does it in braille, doesn't it? And then it changes it
on the title. Yeah, visual braille, great to see. Also, completely useless.
Because if you go to your screen on the new ones, it comes out of the screen. It has that 4D effect.
You imagine a braille TV. What nonsense would that be? It's covered in shitload of holes.
That's what OLED is.
That would have some interesting utilizations if it was doing outlines of things. Okay. Oh,
you meant porn.
So, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Please go and give it a watch and let us know what you think. We want to know how you think the audio description went and what the story's like. Similarly, if you've read the book, please let us know what you think without spoilers. But what do you think of the adaptation as Netflix have put forward? Because sometimes, the stuffy shirts, they're a bit but it doesn't really. Yeah, if you like something, you like something at the end of the day. Any closing thoughts before we sign off?
I'm glad I watched the series before I read the book. I think I will go and read the book at some point.
Thank you to IDC Digital for doing such a good job on the audio description.
Well done, IDC. Please keep fighting for those contracts because this is the high standard that we really need. So, until next time, keep your jewels close and hidden.
Thank you for listening to Seesaw Podcast. Your feedback and comments mean a lot to us, so if you'd like to get in touch, you can do so in the following ways.
You can find us on Twitter at Seesaw Pod, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Seesaw Podcast. And you can also join us at seesawpodcast.com.
Remember to like, rate, review and share with a friend.
This podcast was recorded in front of a blind audience.